Ashe, everyone. This is Innocent Smith, aka The Wellness Witch from Shishi Witchy Wellness, and today I have a special treat for you guys. So, wanted to start off with just a moment of gratitude. I thank you so much for all of your love and support and continued patience as get our sea legs back and this channel gets on track. And I do want to just let you guys know that I intentionally did not do anything as any sort of New Year's resolutions or anything like that, because as I announced during our previous reading, I don't really feel like resolutions are very beneficial or helpful. If anything, they feel like they're more detrimental. So in that sense, we're not doing that, right? But I have a reading that I wanted to, an offering for you guys today. And I'm going to introduce you to something. So, that being said, I hope that you guys are all doing well. My apologies. I know that you may see me looking off camera here and there, especially right now as we begin. And that's only because I wanted to give you guys a sound to get us started, right? Like just to kind of set everything off. And so let's see what Spirit has for us today. I am using I know the lighting's gonna go in and out a little bit, and I do apologize, but that's just the lighting we have today. But I'm using the Crystal Sound Healing Oracle by Geraldine Glass for this portion of today's episode. So, like I said, let's see what message Spirit has for the collective today. What energy are we working with? And okay. So today's message comes to us from the Ruby, and our keywords are rootedness, vitality, and manifestation. Okay, and then our number is 39. So that being said, if you just want to get comfortable and kind of settle in, actually before I play this, let's start off like this. I'm going to give you a moment to grab paper, pen, pencil. You can use your phone, just put it on silent. Just bring up like a notes app or something so that you can keep track as I go along of what our cards are. And so I'll repeat this for you after I play our sound, the card, our intentions for today's message from Spirit, and then I'll read you a little bit more about what this card means. So you can pause. In the meantime, okay, so here's our sound. Beautiful, beautiful. And I will play that again before today's session is done. but just bear in mind, and as I said, I really, really hope that helps someone. So if you haven't already grabbed your paper and pen, please do that now. Yeah, and I'm just trying to give you guys a moment while I get that done. Well, you get that done. So for those of you who don't know me, tell you a bit about who I am. As I said, my name is Innocent Smith, aka the Wellness Witch, and I am the creatrix and the CEO of She Witchy Wellness. I help Black women reclaim their sensual nature, sexual flow, and sovereign spirit through acts of self-love and energetic alignment. That's me in a nutshell. That is essentially what I do. And that is basically the crux of She Witchy Wellness and what we do here, right? And so, again, how does that flow? What does that have to do with what I'm doing? A lot. Basically a lot. Essentially, if you want to break that down, we're talking about using nature and spirit to find our center, to find our flow, to find our balance. And She Witchy Wellness is all about flow and energy and love and bewitchery, right? Which, again, I know for some of you, I'm saying this because I know that some things will stick with other people. It'll resonate more than other things. So that being the case, just know that I'm not trying to talk over anyone's head. I just want to understand, for it to be understood, that I'm talking to, you know, a multitude of people, right? It's not like I'm just talking to one person when I'm saying these things. And I'm trying to get our lighting right, you guys, because I know it's a little today, right? Okay, so thank you for bearing with me. In any case, as I said, yeah, so that looks like whatever we do, doing it well, do you know what I mean? And doing it to the best of your ability. But it looks like using witchcraft in ways that are true to you, because there's so many ways that we can go about that, and so many tools that we can use, so many tools that witchcraft offers us, right? And so that's what it looks like. I do apologize again if it looks like I'm a little washed out. Okay, thank you. That's what it looks like, essentially. But witchcraft is so many things, and it's too many things to get into in like a single transmission, right? But it does involve things such as manifesting. It does involve things such as divination. I'll just say divination because that's a blanket, right, that encompasses things such as rune reading and pendulums and scrying and using tarot cards and oracle cards and all sorts of things, right? We go here one step at a time. And as far as me sharing with you guys, typically what I do is I'll share with you through offerings for the collective, as you as part of our collective. And I do collective readings. But when I do those collective readings, again, it's picking up on the energy of us as an entire group, right? So that being said, I hope that your hearts and minds are aligned. And if this channel is not for you, I wish you well, peace and blessings. But if you feel like this is, you know, if I'm speaking your language and this is something that you're interested in, then, you know, please subscribe, stay tuned. Understand that I do not come in here and read for the community on a daily basis. I really don't do that. Too many other things going on. And it is just meant to be a, you know, community wellness offering. That's why I do this. But I do work with individual clients. I only take so many clients on per year because I work with people on a more intimate basis. But if you would like to be a part of the group, then that's totally fine. And I am working on our Patreon community. So that's up and coming. And buy me a coffee. Like, you can find some of my services over there if you would like a private reading. If you'd like to book a commission for a private reading, or you're interested in other services. So that being out of the way, let's get into it. All right, so by now you should have had plenty of time to get going with this, right? So as I said, I'll show you this again. Our card is Ruby, right? And our keywords are rootedness, vitality, and manifestation. So very, very funny. When I tell you that that's pretty much the ethos of Shishi Witchy Wellness, like, it absolutely is. Now, I'm going to also share with you, because I want to share directly from the author. So I don't want to, get anything misaligned. So from their words, tell you what they said about this card. And I'll let you see the card so you have to watch me read. All right, so our message on Ruby. Would be helpful if I read the right card, right? It would. Ruby, rootedness, vitality, manifestation. The alchemical message. If the oscillation of the deep-toned ruby bowl is sounding in your life today, you are rooting into an unshakable, unwavering strength. This majestic bowl brings a flow of pristine, noble energy. There is know that there is an unwavering presence within you that may bend, but it never breaks. Ruby asks you to re-examine your priorities and commit to integrity at the highest level. Ruby encourages manifestation by awakening you at a cellular and quantum level. Well, what does this card mean for you? Ruby enables a pure and impassioned expression of your creativity and sexuality, resonating with inner fire and devotion. The rich red hues of the ruby enhances rooting and invites you to come home, land in love, and live from your authenticity. Ruby is grounding in your vitality so you can rise and manifest your soul's destiny. Right? So our alchemical mantra is to close your eyes and allow them. Okay, so we're going to do this as like a mindfulness moment, right? I'm going to read you the prompt first, and then I'll actually play the sound for you again, because I don't want to talk over the sound. It's beautiful. All right, so close your eyes and allow them to gently roll downward, focusing below, deep into the earth. Feel yourself planted like the root of a great tree. As you imagine breathing in from the earth, draw the air up through your lower body, your belly, your heart, your throat, and your third eye. Now exhale out through your crown. Draw in a breath infused with light from 2 feet above your crown. Imagine yourself as part of the whole. Feel the light moving through you as you speak the mantra out loud or silently. Energy is flowing and glowing in every cell of my being. I am deeply rooted. I exude vitality. I see and hear the vibrational frequency of my dreams and visions. I ignite my power as creator. I manifest from the unseen to the seen. Yes. Yes. I'm going to play our sound again. Ready? Energy is flowing and glowing in every cell of my being. I am deeply rooted. I exude vitality. I see and hear the vibrational frequency of my dreams and visions. I ignite my power as creator. I manifest from the unseen to the seen. Okay, so now let's get into the main portion of our offering today, and I'm going to be pulling from a few sources for us, right? As I do, I want to remind you of something just so that you know what this container is, these offerings. This is about me holding space for you, right? As a wellness witch, and as a high priestess, but like there's a little bit of priestess work in this. It's about half and half. In any case, I come here and make these offerings for you guys as a collective, not just to give you a tarot reading. I mean, I could do that, sure, but it's not about just giving you, just a reading, right? When I come here for these offerings, it's about trying to give you something that is multifaceted, that is layered, something that is dynamic, something that you can take with you, something that actually has some meat, right, and some meaning, something for you to like really sink your teeth into and take with you throughout your day, throughout your week, right? So I try to break this down in such a way that you get the message that Spirit has for us as a collective, okay? So that being said, the first deck that I want to read to you from, that I want to pull from, is the Body of Knowledge card deck. And this is for our, really more for our somatic portion of our reading, right? And it's by Pat Ogden. If I mispronounce the name, I do apologize. Ogden. I'm not trying to, be rude or anything, but some names sometimes are just, it's a mouthful. So in any case, I'm trying. So maybe I get it right, maybe I didn't, but I tried. Okay, so let me take off our card that we're not reading from. And I'm just pulling out those cards that I'm not reading with, because if you were to see this deck, you'd understand. So there's writing on both sides, actually. And I'm not trying to get you guys to read it. I'm going to read it for you. But I'm just letting you know there's writing on both sides of this deck. And it's one of those, it just is what it is, right? Okay, so what message does Spirit have for the collective today? Ruby. Rootedness, vitality, manifestation. That's not from this deck, but just reminding you, in case you didn't write that down. Okay, so we got a message from whom. Okay, so our message is past and future resources for low arousal. So this is about low arousal. Our autonomic arousal naturally decreases or at different times during the day, depending on our activities and our energy level. Lower arousal supports calm states and relaxing activities, such as listening to soft music, snuggling in front of the fireplace, or going to sleep at night. Now, I know a lot of you that I'm speaking that are within the sound of my voice right now are going to say, don't have a fireplace. It's totally fine. Light a candle. It's fine. But when our arousal drops to an uncomfortably low level, we may have trouble taking action or even shut down and not want to move. When we can identify signs of low arousal, I'm still thinking about our sound therapy, Freudian slip. When we can identify signs of low arousal that we want to change, we can choose physical action to increase our arousal and train our nervous system to up-regulate. Okay. And so I'm going to give you a few journal prompts for this. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull from our tarot deck first, right before I do that. And I will save these journal prompts until after we pull our cards from our tarot deck. So let's see what message it has for us. Oh, and also, by the way, yeah, so like this is a special treat because I am sharing with you guys really pretty much for the first time, because I've been like anxiously and like furiously working on some other projects. And there's like still one or two cards that are, you know, card decks that are in the making, but they're coming soon. So in the meantime, I just couldn't wait anymore. I wanted to go ahead and share this deck with you as well. 2 decks. That's really special. And then another treat that I got for you. All right, so let's get started. So our first deck is from the Forbidden Tarot. Yes, you heard me, from the Forbidden Tarot. And so like this is a limited edition artisanal deck that I created for She and She Witchy Wellness. She Witchy Wellness, and yeah. So this is in a tin, and it's just to protect these cards. I will show you our second deck as well. So this is the tarot deck, right? And also in a tin is my Oracle card deck, the Forbidden Oracle. Yeah. And so we have some common themes, as you'll see as we go along. This is, like I said, is also in a tin. And these particular cards are actually plastic. And the reason why I went with that, I'm not going to call it anything else. It is what it is. The reason for that is because I wanted to be able to use these cards in a variety of ways. So these cards are multifaceted, like they can be used in a variety of ways. I can use them in water, sand, anything like that. It's not a plug, I'm just letting you know so you see the difference in them. So open them up, and we have, there's 98 cards in this deck actually, so that's the reason why it's so large and why I had to put it like this. So it's a double tin. Cards on this side, we have our chip that goes in here. Actually, we got 2 chips, but I'll show you that because there's one in this one as well. So there's a chip that goes to both of these decks, and I'll show you. So this particular one, first of all, when the chip is on this side, which happens to be the She Witchy Wellness icon, the open eye, right, the all-seeing eye, that symbolizes a yes. This is a sacred yes. And when the eye is closed, kind of resembles the sun, but it's a closed eye. This is our divine no, right? Okay, so put that off to the side for now. And then the cards again. So guidebook, it's just a pamphlet. And the reason why I put a pamphlet in this, I just want to explain this to you really quickly before I go through and do this reading for you guys, is that, we'll see. So here's the guidebook. Just going to kind of flip through real quick. I put into this for you guys a welcome, of course, our breakdown of the major arcana, numbers 1 through 11, and then continuation, so from 11 through our double odd, or double zero, the bonus cards breakdown of, and this is just like prime on keywords, okay? The numbers runners page, which gives you basically an overview of, you know, the numbers and what they mean within this system. And then I give you a breakdown of the suit. So we have suit of fire, because this deck goes based like that, suit of waters, suit of air, suit of earth. And then I give you guys 2 different tarot card spreads. So the first one is based on one of our actual cards, and it's called the I Reckon tarot spread. And then we have the Splitting Hairs tarot spread. And then what I do is I give you a breakdown of our token, right? And so on one side you'll see it says, she said yes. That's for the golden side. And then she said no, which is our platinum side, right? Silver and gold. Silver and gold, sorry, not platinum. But in any case, and then I'll, you know, tell you a little bit about how to use that. And the last 2 pages are notes pages, so you can make a copy of that. But the reason why I just gave you a really quick overview of this system is, as I said, because for you, the Forbidden Tarot is, you know, something completely new, right? Like, you guys don't know anything about my system. And I think it's super important, even in a community reading, regardless of what it is, right? For you to have some basis and some knowledge of what we're working with and what everything is. So just so you know a little bit, as I said, my suits are fire, water, air, and earth, right? I figured it was much easier to give you a breakdown that way. But as well, they're represented by elements that correspond to those things. So you'll see as we go along. I also give you a few cards in here that are reminiscent of the guidebook. So if for any reason you purchase this deck and you happen to misplace it, you got it at the ready in card form. So in card form, you've got an overview of the intention and current cards, what that means. Then I give you guys the major arcana again, and the major arcana is broken down 2 different ways. So I give it to you from like number 1 through 11, and then 12 through double odd. And I give you an overview of the numbers card, and obviously a how to use card. Okay, so not a sales pitch, just letting you know, I wanted you guys to know how to use this deck, including the bonus cards. So as we go, that being said, let's get into it. So here's the cards again. See, let's just pop these out. And just for the sake of transparency, that you know, should you choose to order my deck, as I said, the plastic cards, that particular version is not the version that I have available, you know, to everyone. It's just, if you want that, it is absolutely available. The reason I made these is because, like I said, I wanted them to be super versatile, right? Although I'm not using water in this particular reading, but I very well could have chose to. But the plastic ones, also, with this being such a large deck, makes it, like, you know, really smooth as far as doing your shuffles and all of that. And handling it riffles so beautifully as a plastic deck. It truly does. They're a little bit more pricey, but as I said, right, as an independent, artist, creating this deck, I had to do something that was on point and try to give you the most bang for your buck when it came down to it. I also wanted a deck that was super versatile, so plastic was one of the few mediums, and I call it the glass house deck. That gives us that kind of versatility, just so you know. Thank you for your patience. All right, so let's get into it. So we know that our intention was set with a ruby, right? And that we're talking about erotic energy for today. And our first card that we have, we're only going to pull 3, is the Son of Air. Oh my gosh, I feel like the lighting is just not doing it justice, you guys. But the Son of Air is our first card. There we go. And yeah, I'll tell you what that means in just a bit. Let's pull all the cards first, though. And our Son of Air was crossed with No Sir. In a more traditional card deck, No Sir would be the Emperor card. And then, okay. And then this one just made itself known. Ha, we'll slap out. Okay, got it. All right, so I'm gonna give you a breakdown of this really quickly. As I mentioned to you guys, so you know how I'm reading this, right? I'm gonna show you all 3 cards at once and reading this way. So Son of Air, No Sir, we'll slap out. All right, okay. So that being said, there we go. I'm gonna tell you guys what this is. So this is saying that we have been someone, I'll just say it that way, someone, but we're saying us as a collective, so I'm gonna say we. Okay, so this is saying that we have been flying all over the place, right? Like we've really been extending our energy. And although we are blessed, right, with divine creative energy, and we've got like all this potency and vitality, there's this thing such as balance, right? I should have grabbed the porcupine. Cool, it's totally fine. But for as much time as we spend in the air, right? In the air, I mean, in the ether, in these realms, oh, here we go. In our creative, flow and our energy and flying here and flying there and doing all the things as much as we can fly, right? We also need to ground ourselves at times. We need to have more balance. But for some reason, we've not been doing that. We've absolutely not been doing that. The Son of Air card is about taking action, taking quick action. It's about bravery. It is also about quick wit or intelligence, right? So like using our intelligence and not being reckless, because we can be reckless at times, right? Like we sometimes fly a little too close to the sun without coming back down. And as I said, like we need to have balance. If you'll notice, the sun, and again, I apologize for the lighting here, but if you notice, the sun is like directly behind the son of air, right? And his wings are out and extended, right? He's holding on to his sword and he's standing at the ready to literally take off at a moment's notice and to vanquish whatever is happening, like whatever threat it is that's happening, right? It's saying that we have been priming ourselves to stay in this sort of we've been hypervigilant, right? We've been putting a lot of energy forth into just being on high alert. And that can be extremely draining to our system overall, extremely draining. It's fine to be aware of what's going on, but to constantly be in that state is like burning the candle at both ends, if that makes sense to you, right? In other words, we're doing too much. We've been doing too much. And then we have that followed up with No Sir, who actually landed this way on top of the Son of Air card. And so in that position, what that means is that this is our divine masculine, right? Like our supreme divine masculine energy, letting us know that they're trying to step in and squash that, right? So in other words, it's our wings are being clipped. We're being told to ground ourselves at this time. And if you see, No Sir is surveying, right? Like they're off on this journey and they're kind of like surveying the land. They're just taking a look over their entire kingdom. And us being a part of that kingdom, here they come with a light, right? With a light in dark times. Not only are they coming with a light, but they are walking in their truth. They're walking in their light. They're calming the beast of the land and the beast of the air. Yes, I said beast. So I won't go too far down the rabbit hole, but let's just suffice it to say, we know that, as humans, right, like we have a beastly nature. That's why I say this. And as you see also, No Sir is stroking this serpent that has risen up to meet them while they're off on this walk. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Serpents are all about transformation, transitions. They are about balance as well. Because serpents, I don't know whether some of you know this or not, but serpents can actually maneuver in like any medium. You find them in the air. Like some serpents are arboreal, meaning, they are tree dwelling. Some of them like to be in the earth, some in the water, right? So they go across like pretty much all mediums. And when we think about like serpents with fire, we start thinking about like dragons and stuff. But the point is, when it comes down to this, is that this is our Divine Father telling us, look, you need to take a break. I'm not taking away your sun, but you're flying too close too often to the artificial sun. And this lantern that they are holding, No Sir, that is, this lantern that they're holding is a reminder of our inner light, our inner fire. And what they're saying is that you've got to have and find your own vitality. One more thing about that. So again, this lighting, you guys, so sorry. Okay, so what you probably can't see that well in detail is that, there we go. No, sir, his core, his center, right, is saying that, like, you have to cultivate balance for yourself, because this is actually a black pearl that is at his core, at his center, right? And it's just the visual representation of saying that you've got to find your own balance, you've got to find your own core, you've got to find your own strength, you've got to find your own light, you've got to find your own center, because otherwise, like, you are just leaking, absolutely leaking energy. And you are putting out so much energy, but you're not replacing that energy. And that, after a while, is going to start to affect your vitality. And for someone, I have a feeling that it has been, right? You've been searching for something. You've really been searching for something or someone, and you felt misunderstood. And you're like, look, I'm going through like all of these things, and I don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn to. I don't know who to turn to, right? I just need a word. I just need a word of encouragement. I just need a pat on the head. I just need recognition. I just need to know that all this work that I've been doing and all this running around and flying around that I've been doing has not been in vain. And it hasn't been. But here's your message about that. You are whoa slap out. So here, you can tell our message says, do not disturb. Please do not disturb. That's whoa slap out. In a traditional tarot deck, the whoa slap out card would actually be the Hermit. And interesting that this card came after No Sir, who's carrying the light, which oftentimes is associated with the Hermit card. But in this deck, I chose to go with what Spirit led me to do. And so, like, as we typically know, right, like, caskets kind of infer a funeral of some sort. And what this is saying is that this is a lesson that you need to be reminded of at this time, right? Like, this could be a life or death situation for you. Because if you continue going along in the same vein that you've been going along, right, without intervention from the divine, without, listening to the advice that you're being given, because you've been asking what's happening, what's going on. And so Spirit is answering you, and they're telling you, you need a break. Like, you need to figure out a different way of doing things. And it's not saying that you can't do things anymore, but for one, I feel like it's saying, all of that hustle, grinding, hustling that you've been doing, you need to be more like the son of air, who's in balance, right? Use your wit, use your intelligence. Don't be so quick to react. Wait for it, think about it, then act. But consult, right? Because you are the son. Consult with the Divine Father first. However you choose to call that, but consult the Divine Father first. And rest. Like, have periods of rest. We all need periods of rest and introspection, right? So the roses here are an indication of taking time out to smell the roses, right? It's that balm. It's that sweet, heavenly aroma of balance and beauty and vitality. And if you notice, the color is red. Yeah, a lot like our rubies, right? And then we also have here the lilies. And this is a type of lily, but we have those that are on the casket as well. So that is saying, that's an indication of covering yourself, right? Taking a break, covering yourself, be it in anointing yourself with oils, precious oils, scented oils, right? You can use aromatherapy. You can put these oils directly onto your body. But this is about self-care, in other words. It's not the death card. That's different. This is a card that's all about self-care. And sometimes it's about shutting yourself off, putting on a do not disturb sign on our doors, right? Turning your phones, your electronic devices onto do not disturb. And just taking a break. Maybe it's a nap. Maybe it's a good long nap. Maybe it's a meditation. And that light is still there, right? You see through these beautiful stained glass windows, right? And these portals, these beautiful stained glass windows. The light is still there for you. But the light, there's different sources of light. We have the light from the sun, right? Like that energy and that vitality. We have the light from source, the external light, right? That source carries for us. We have our internal light. So the internal light is going to be carried with you while you're here in repose, in complete rest, and perhaps even recuperating, right? To regain your vital energy, your life force energy. The world has its light. You have your light. There's a light that's out there that might be calling to you, but you need to have some time alone to allow your own internal light to recharge. I hope that makes sense. I spent so much time, I feel like, really trying to break that down for you guys in a way that it makes sense. And well, let's just ask, shall we? So, does anyone need further clarification about this message? Yes, no? Yes. You could see it, but it landed on, she said yes, on Do Not Disturb. So about we'll slap out, somebody doesn't quite understand that, it's totally fine. So now we're going to pull from the Forbidden Oracle as a clarifier. And do that. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your patience and your understanding. If you have any questions about the cards or questions about readings, just let me know. Comment in the comment box. And I will do my best to try to get that posted for you. Just know that the post will be here on this channel. So, okay. So what message do you have for the collective about this energy of being low slap out? Now, these cards are also plastic, so very slippery, mind you. What message do you have for the collective at this time? Clarifying message about being able to slip out. Okay. So, I feel like our card that kept trying to make itself known is Erotic. Erotic. And Erotic's message is, what you seek is seeking you. Be open to receive. So again, this, that message is a direct connector. It's just a continuation of the overall message. And as I, mentioned, that I feel like someone has been seeking someone or something to kind of like fill what Spirit's saying, like what you feel like is like this void in your life. And it's saying that what you're seeking is already seeking you. So let's get into this real quick. Okay, Spirit, does anyone need further clarification about this message, or do you have a final message about this offering today? Yes, no? Yes. Okay, so I'll show you the second coin, which goes with this, and it landed on, again, she said yes, so it landed on the hair, which actually also is the mascot on the back of the card, the icon. But this is our divine yes on this chip, and on this side it's the serpent, which represents our divine no. So since it was a yes, I'm going to pull for you today, and these are just like hand done. I've transferred these into rune form, but for now, like, this is just my personal set of witch runes that I created, and so I'm going to pull from those. Okay, so now witch runes work a little bit different, and you almost kind of want to shuffle them, but these are extremely delicate because they are mother of pearl shells that are hand painted. Okay, so Spirit, what message do you have for the collective at this time? Okay, and so in the way these work is anything that does not read, I just immediately go ahead and remove. And when I say that does not read, meaning like if something lands face down as opposed to face up, then I don't read that. Okay. Make sure I'm not doing anything that's face up. Okay. All right, so I know you cannot probably see all of these runes as they have landed. Try to give you guys a little bit more of a about that. Okay, but still, I will read them out to you as they landed. So with this, it's saying that we need, what I told you before, like more feminine balance to bring more balance into our lives, and that's represented by the sign of the divine femme. And so she's on the bottom of this, and that's saying that we need to like really step into that and ground in our divine feminine energy. With that, we have a symbol for the goddess Aset, right? Some of you know her by the name of Isis, but Aset, Isis. And so like this is a Tayet symbol, and it's saying that we essentially, it's not saying, but it's giving us that suggestion that we really need to find physical, spiritual, mental balance, right? That we need to balance our lives as a whole. Then we have on top of this the sickle, and I can show you these as I read them one at a time. So this is a symbol for the divine feminine, right? So that's bringing in more of that energy. This is the Tayet, as I just mentioned to you, right? And the Tayet is like this body that's actually in repose, more like a meditation pose, if you want to say that. And then we have the scythe, the sickle, on top of that. And so what that's saying is that we need to cut out all those things that are not serving us and not helping us replenish our energy, that is actually taking away our vitality. We need to cut those things out. And it's also saying, because all of this landed beneath our Son of Air card, which again, I'm gonna let you see that. Okay, so since it landed beneath our Son of Air card, right, what this is also indicating is that we've cut this out. We've cut out our prayers, we've cut out our meditations, we've cut out those things that help us ground, and those things that help us to find balance, and those things that are healing and nurturing for us. We haven't been doing that to the level that we need to the extent that we need to, because we've been too busy flying all over the place and playing, captain on team too much. And we've not been like really paying attention to all of these signs that we've been getting, that we've been uprooted, we've been losing our vitality, and we haven't been manifesting the best life for ourselves. Okay, so moving over here, directly on top of no sir, between that and we'll slap out, we have the harvest symbol, the symbol of harvest. And it actually landed on top of the base of the serpent that's on this card. And it landed on the bottom left corner of the casket for we'll slap out. So what that is saying, in other words, is that this serpent is our spirit rising up to meet the divine Father, right? And this transformation, this transition that we've been looking at, but this transformation is that we need to really harvest the best of what this season has to offer us, and recognize that this is a season of rest and replenishment, right? It's not saying that you can't do anything, but it's saying you don't have to be captain of team too much. Right now, that's getting you nowhere. As a matter of fact, the next room that's directly underneath that is blank. Funny, I know. Good. It's blank, and it's blank on purpose. And so that represents Daya, or death, actually. And it's saying that I'm so sorry, you guys, my nose is itching. Anyway, that's saying that we've been doing this thing to death. We've run it into the ground, and that it is taking everything from us. And if we continue the way that we're going, as I said, we're going to have nothing left. We're in this void right now. So our last room that showed up is the star, the room that represents the star. And the star landed directly on the bottom of the Erotic card, the star. And so what that is saying is that it's confirmation about what we're seeking is already seeking us, and it's saying that we're only going to find that within. And one reason I tell you that is because, I'm trying to move this over so you guys can see it real quick, but the Erotic card, right? You see there's this being, and it's our femme, right? It's a feminine energy. But she is in repose. She is resting, right? She's in a meditative pose, in a seated meditative pose. It's more than one. This is a meditative pose. Could be where you are lying stretched out, right? So because when you're in a casket, you're stretched out. So it's that sort of energy. And what it's saying is that whether you lie down or you sit down, perhaps you need to sit down before you have to lie down. But if you need to lie down, then lie down, right? And that's also talking about our dreams, in that state. That's a resting state, that's a meditative state. So maybe right now you might want to try more lucid dreaming or whatever. There's a lot of things that we can do to make that happen. But in any case, I hope this helps, this reading helps. It was a much longer session than I intended, but you know how I do it over here at Shishi with You Wellness. I just keep it real and stay in the flow of whatever's coming up. And I feel like somebody really, really needed that extended, explanatory session. So in any case, like I said, I hope it helps. I will take a picture of this and upload it also and put that in the offerings, and I'll give you guys a breakdown of that. So just expect to see that later. But in any case, I hope that this reading has given you some solace. And I want to give you the prompts before we go. Okay, your journaling prompts. So for one, I will say it this way. As you do your journaling, the first thing I invite you to do is to journal with the actual cards themselves that came up for us, right? So if you're ready, first card that you want to put into your journal is the Son of Air. And you're literally just going to write down Son of Air. And then what I want you to do is I just want you to jot down whatever comes to mind as you look upon this card, as you gaze upon this card. What thoughts immediately come to mind for you, about you? Your thoughts, your feelings, your sensations. Just doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just a prompt. And you'll go back and fill this in later. Okay, and so your next card is No Sir. And you're doing the same thing, right? And again, with the understanding that No Sir is a archetype of the divine masculine, the supreme divine masculine. What do you feel? What do you notice? What comes up? Also, this would be the fatherly or the more senior archetype of the divine masculine. The Son of Air would be one of those elements, but that would be the element that's more closely related to our words, right? Us speaking things into existence, that sort of thing. So this is more the air energy. And then our third prompt, it was We'll Slap Out. Oh yeah, and No Sir, the number on that, sorry, is actually number 4. So that's our divine number. And We'll Slap Out, the divine number is number 9. And so it's just, what do you think? What do you feel? How do you feel about this card? Okay. And then with Erotic, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? How does this card inspire you? What thoughts are going through your mind? How are you feeling in your body? What does this card inspire in you, for you? Okay. For the sake of pictures, put those back as they were. Okay, and then here's our prompts from our resources for low arousal, right? I told you I was going to save this. All right, so in practice. And also put this into your journal prompts, okay? And then you can go back and fill it in later. So the first one, think about a time when your arousal dropped to an uncomfortable level. Maybe this was an intrusive image or a traumatic reminder. Maybe you felt helpless, trapped, judged, abandoned, or something else. Describe the signals that indicate low or hyperarousal, such as feeling numb, weary, empty, flat, spaced out, unable to think, to move or to think clearly, and so forth. So like that, feeling, like you've been abandoned here on earth, right, and trapped. Just saying that could be one interpretation, that somebody would see this as these two cards, right, with the Son of Air, his wings being clipped by No Sir, and saying, nope, no sir, you're not going to do this, not today. You feel cut off and trapped and abandoned, possibly, right? So what are some different action resources that you can take to help your arousal return to a comfortable level, to help your erotic energy return to a comfortable level, in other words? And such as walking, taking up space, dancing, right? Meditating even. Oh yeah, and it goes without saying also, but as we're talking about this, right, I want to remind you guys too, swords are also a metaphor for masculine, more masculine erotic energy, right? The swords. Yeah, and as the son of air is holding his sword and holding it in his, as you're looking at it, right, he's holding it in his right hand, because that's how it's meant to, you know, to go. But when you see it as someone who's having a reading done, but if you're reading for yourself, then still it almost looks like he's holding it in his left hand, in the feminine energy hand, but he's really not. It's in the right hand, right? So that's the case. And I'll tell you a bit more about that later without going too far into it. But let's just say the reason why I brought that up is because serpents, you know, are a representative of more feminine energy, generally speaking, and the sword of the masculine energy. And as we're talking about, you know, erotic energy and arousal, we're talking about desire, seeking things, and also like what's being sought and what's being sought after, if that makes sense. The seeker and the sought. There we go. All right, so next prompt, just that little aside. What tells you that your arousal has increased? What gets your sword up? Metaphorically speaking, that is. What changes do you notice in your body when your arousal has increased? That is. That was your next journal prompt. Okay, and then our final takeaway from this work, right, is during the week, I'd like for you to notice when your arousal begins to drop and practice some active resources to help bring your arousal back up. And I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to take a quick screenshot of this card if you've not done so already, which was our ruby, and our keywords are on here. So in case you have a hard time seeing it, I'm just going to tell it to you again. So the ruby is rootedness, vitality, and manifestation, and the numbers are 3 and 9. Okay. And we're going to end with our sound vibration for the day, which is brought to us by the ruby, as a matter of fact. So let's do that quickly. And as we exit this, I just want to say a final thank you so very, very much for being here and for tuning in. I hope that this has been supremely helpful for someone. And as I said, if you have any questions, please put them in the comment box, or any praise or whatever. I really appreciate you. But just a moment. that was it. So I thank you, everyone. Peace and blessings to you. I love you so much. As I said, this series will continue. Just consider this, you know, like our temple time when I do these offerings, such as this, particularly when I offer them anytime. I'm not going to come in here and say when I offer them to you on a Sunday, because that's a whole different conversation. We'll talk about that later. But I hope that this helps. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Peace and blessings to you. Ashe.